I hope every single person who's watching this is having a beautiful, gorgeous, amazing day. We are now 10 days away from the election, which some people are calling the most important election of our lifetime. 10 days away from us creating the future. And if some people are still withholding, their votes and not sure which way they're going to go or if they're going to vote at all, I just want to say real quick, your vote is your voice. This is your opportunity to be a part of creating the fabric of the future. Come on, don't you want to be a part of that? Yes, I think everyone should be a part of that. And so now there's a couple of things that I wanted to share. For one, CNN is actually preparing their audience for a Trump victory, which I think is absolutely insane. And I also wanted to talk about something that Tulsi said in this little short interview with Jesse on Fox News. And I thought both of these were great. And there's one other little snippet that I'm going to save for the end, which I thought was interesting, but we're going to get there. So without further ado, let's check this
Trump
out.
may finally get his great white whale. Harris versus Trump national margin. You mentioned that New York Times poll, a tie. That's actually right in the middle of the spectrum when we're talking about recent polling data. You don't have to look very far to find Donald Trump ahead nationally. He was up by 2 points in the CNBC poll, up by 3 in the Wall Street Journal poll. Very close races within the margin of error. But then the same thing on the other side, right? You have Harris up by 3 points according to Ipsos. The Say 24 YouGov poll, it's a bunch of academics, also has.
Also, real quick, I think this is a really just important thing to point out. But this is why you probably shouldn't really trust polls, because depending on where you get it from, depending on the pollsters, depending on their internal biases, depending on who funds and pays for the poll, you will get different results. And these polling sizes are so tiny. Like if you look at the polls that are just on my YouTube channel, you'll see that thousands of people are just overwhelmingly voting for Trump. But is this expressive of the general population of this country? Absolutely not. So take polls with grains of salt, but look at what happens in this video, because he actually compares this 2024 election to 2020, to 2016, to 2004. And I thought that was really valuable.
Harris up by 3. But the bottom line is, with the popular vote, which we really haven't focused upon, a very, very tight race, John. Fact is, Donald Trump is very much in a position he could win the popular vote, which, of course, is something he would absolutely love to do.
And would be something very different than we have seen compared to last time and the polling compared to last time.
Exactly right. So I went back through the time machine, all right? I went back through the time machine to see where were the past 2 races at this point in the campaign. Look, Harris in the average poll right now is up by 1. Well within the margin of error. You go back 4 years ago, Joe Biden was well ahead of Donald Trump in the national popular vote polls. He was up by 9. Even Hillary Clinton was up by 6 points. So now Donald Trump's in a position he really hasn't been before at this point in the campaign, where he could truly compete, and we can truly say that the popular vote at this point is way too close to call. Further back in my time machine to get an understanding, hey, I haven't heard about a Republican potentially winning the popular vote in a while. And it turns out a Republican winning the popular vote, it hasn't happened since 2004 in George W. Bush defeating John Kerry. And that's only the one time that it has happened. In fact, you have to go all the way back to 1988 to find another one, when it was George W. Bush's father, George H.W. Bush, winning the popular vote over Michael Dukakis. So the fact that the polls right now are so close, John, the fact that Donald Trump has a legitimate shot of winning the popular vote is something I think a lot of folks, including in my line of work, really didn't think could possibly happen when Donald Trump was running last time around. He could make history, not just for Donald Trump, for a Republican candidate as well.
Now, there are some reasons for this, and I think Democrats' heads are all exploding out there watching this right now. There are some reasons for this, which you're going to explain, but also begin to raise the possibility that we could see the reverse. We could see the reverse of things we've seen, where a Republican wins the popular vote, but there's a chance for the Democrat to win the Electoral College.
Yeah, part of my job is to warn our viewers on either side of the aisle of an event that may occur that they don't necessarily like. And Donald Trump winning the popular vote could absolutely happen. You might as well wrap your minds around it now, folks, if you don't like Donald Trump. But on the flip side of that, a potentially good sign for Democrats is, why is Donald Trump doing so well in the popular vote polls? You can dig down into the state level polling, and you can see that Donald Trump is doing particularly well in California, Florida, New York, and Texas. Of course, none of these states are really on the board at this point. So Donald Trump may end up gaining in the national popular vote polls, but actually he's wasting votes, which could in fact lead to a case where Kamala Harris could sneak by in the Electoral College by sweeping those Great Lake battleground states, which at this point are way too close to call, John.
And I do think this is why we have people like RFK Jr. using all the influence and impact that he has on this election to get people to vote for President Trump, regardless of what state you are in. Because I remember in the beginning, whenever he started to support Trump, the idea was to be only being pulled out from the battleground states and actually still try to get this whole 5% thing in order to actually, create this sustainable third party, right? In order to get access to federal funds, which would have been great. But now he's kind of shifted and now he's saying, regardless of whatever state you are in, please vote for Trump. Why? Because he wants to ensure that Trump also gets the popular vote. Now, why is this important? Why is the conversation of the popular vote? Why does that matter? And I saw this tweet by Lex Fridman, and to me, it actually made it really, really clear. He wrote here today, I hope this election is not a close one for everyone's sake. Go vote. Why? Why? Why is it bad that this is a close election? That's the question that I was asking myself. And then I was thinking about how divided we are, how divided this country is, how these cults between both sides are kind of constantly using these very extreme tactics to push against one another, and it's just wildly unhealthy. But if we have essentially a landslide election, I think that would force every person with extreme values to actually sit back and say, huh, especially for the Democratic Party, for them to sit back and say, you know what, maybe it's wrong of us to demonize the right when maybe 60% of the people actually want this person to be president. Because whenever we demonize President Trump, we're actually demonizing 60% of the population of this country. And that's the problem. So I think this is what Lex is saying here. I hope this election is not a close one for everyone's sake, because if it's not, then I actually think there's going to be some sort of unity between parties, and the same unity that we've seen actually very recently with Tulsi. Because I don't know if you guys saw this, but Tulsi officially joined the Republican Party. She's been a Democrat, but now she's kind of been playing with this sort of alliance with Trump, and she's been endorsing and supporting him. She's been on the campaign trail, and that's great, but she's still a Democrat. But now she's officially saying, no, I actually do not identify as a Democrat at all anymore. Now I'm officially joining the Republican Party, and I do think this is really profound. So there's this short clip that I want to share here, and I thought it was great. This is pretty much them just talking about Kamala Harris, and I thought it was worth sharing. Check it out.
The political transition. Why can't Kamala Harris, Tulsi, answer yes or no? Does she realize it's getting annoying?
I mean, clearly not, because she keeps doing it over and over again. It's very clear that she is afraid to say the wrong thing, and the wrong thing is something that her pollsters have not scripted for her. And that's where you get all of these answers that don't answer the questions, that are very fair and legitimate, that voters and even the CNN guys are asking her. And instead you get this, like, you can tell she pauses and she's trying to go through the Rolodex of talking points in her mind and then see if she can come up with the right one that generally fits with that topic. But even there, she's failing. It does, to say it doesn't inspire confidence is putting it lightly. To me, it yet again points to how dangerous she would be as our president and commander in chief, knowing, as you and I know, who the powers that be are behind the curtain, who would be feeding her these talking points and making decisions about war and peace with Kamala Harris as their figurehead.
Yeah, if she's elected and she has a summit with Putin, I mean, what is she going to do with Vladimir Putin if she can't handle Anderson Cooper?
Yeah, it is a dangerous thing, and it is yet more of an example of how disqualifying she has made herself for our presidency. The fact that she has no idea we have active duty troops deployed into combat zones around the world today. The fact that she doesn't know, apparently, that over the last 3.5 years, as she said, we have secure borders. In fact, we don't. The list goes on and on. She is lying to the American people. She is spouting talking points that pollsters tell her she needs to use in order to win this election. And yet again, showing how little she thinks of us, that we're going to fall for this nonsense and somehow elect her to the presidency. Those of us who are paying attention can see right through her and see who she really is.
Yeah, Tulsi, the questions are actually getting easier. Name a mistake you've made. Tell me your greatest weakness. These are like beauty pageant questions, and she's not even able to answer them.
They're beauty pageant questions, but she really is so incapable there, even at that level. And I think that's hilarious. But you know what I also just noticed in this whole clip? That right here on Fox News, it has Tulsi Gabbard with an R next to it. I didn't catch that the first time that I saw this, and I think that is so, so great. But I love that they're talking about how dangerous Kamala Harris would actually be in the middle of those conversations as she discusses, really important things with other world leaders. Because I don't know. I think this is a fair talking point. I think we should be talking about this. I think people who are interested in voting for Kamala Harris should be processing that. One thing I wanted to share next was I saw this by Holden. He wrote that Tulsi Gabbard says she's not been home to Hawaii since April because we've got a country to save. And I just thought this was so powerful. This is just a minute, but I thought it was so good. Check this out.
It's I haven't been home in Hawaii since April. I told my mom before I left, she's like, "Oh, when are we going to see you again? Are you going to be back in a month or so?" And I was just like, "Mom, don't be surprised if you don't see me until Thanksgiving, because we got a country to save." And that's what I've been dedicating my time to, and I'm grateful to have an opportunity to come here and visit with and meet people like you in many different parts of the country who are gathered for that same purpose, a shared concern for the direction that our country has been going in, and out of a recognition, and this is the most beautiful thing, Aaron, and I'm grateful to be able to experience it, this shared understanding of our responsibility as citizens, that as we recognize the problems in this country, we know we're the only ones that can save it.
That is so, so good. I love it. And how do we save it? We save it with our vote. Like I said in the beginning of this video, our vote is our voice. And I believe every single person here who is watching this video owes it to themselves and every single person that they care about and to know to put their voice out there on the line and vote. Like I said, I really don't care if you're a Republican, a Democrat, or an independent. I just think that your voice matters so much that you should go ahead and put it out there on the line. Anyways, that's the video. I'm planning on making another video today, maybe another two. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. Also, oh my gosh, actually, before I go, let me just say this one last thing. President Trump is in Austin right now. And the latest news is that he is going to be on with Joe Rogan. See, look at this. From Jack Poso, Trump has landed in Austin, Texas for the Joe Rogan interview. Let me look at the latest. What's on the latest news? Yeah, so it looks like nothing's happened yet. But, geez, if this comes out today, that will be absolutely bonkers. Anyways, that's the video. I'm going to be following this for some time. I'm going to be looking at being on the lookout. Oh my gosh, you know what? This is actually a really good thing to share too. Scott Pressler, we've been talking about this guy a lot lately. I loved what he wrote in this tweet. He said, "I like this new Republican Party. We're building something special." And it's a picture of RFK Jr. with Trump, with Tucker Carlson, and with Tulsi Gabbard. And I just thought this was great, and I wanted to share that. Anyways, that's the video. Let me know what you thought about it. Let me know what you think about these conversations in the comment section, and I will see you all next time. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching and listening. I appreciate your time so much, and I really hope you enjoyed this episode. If you'd like to support what we're building here, please like and subscribe. It means a lot and it really helps us out. And if you want to see even more content from me, make sure to follow me on Instagram. I'm going to be sharing a lot more on there. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.